Welcome to a special edition of the 360 show. The Champions Trophy is done and dusted. India are champions. Congrats to all Indian cricket fans and well done to Rohit and his troops. Rohit Sharma's captaincy record is absolutely incredible. We'll talk a bit about that. We'll talk about Temba and his captaincy and his ODI future. And then I played a cricket game on Sunday. I missed some of the Champions Trophy final, but it was absolutely fantastic to be out there again, hitting some cricket balls, and I'm having fun with my entire family watching on. It's all in the 360 show. Let's go. Let's start with the usual 360 view. I will hit my stop clock right now, and we start off with India winning the Champions Trophy. Captain Rohit Sharma, absolutely incredible record as a captain. Let's pull up that ODI World Cups 2023. Look at all those wins, just the final that they lost to Australia, Champions Trophy 2025, lots of green there, T20 World Cup 2024, lots of green once again. And compared to other captains, look at Rohit's win percentage, 73, almost 74%, which is substantially more than any other captain of the past. If he keeps this up, he will go down as one of the best ODI captains of all time. And one more thing Rohit says, I'm not going to retire from this format, just to make sure no more rumors are going to spread around. And why would he retire with that kind of record? And not only as captain, but as a batsman. 76 in that final of 83 balls, giving India a fantastic start once again, laying the foundation for success and leading from the front when the pressure was at its peak. So Rohit Sharma, no reason to retire, no reason to take any criticism whatsoever. His record speaks for itself. And not only that, guys, he's sort of transformed his game. We can have a look at his strike rate in the first power play, was 67 around 2019, where he scored 5 centuries for India in that World Cup. But his strike rate in that first power play was only 67, 68. In those 5 years, from 2015 to 2019, actually, it was 75. So very low strike rate for an opening bat, considering the power play, right? Only two fielders outside the ring. But since then, his strike rate is up to 115 in that first power play. And that's the difference between good and great. It's transforming your own game, and it never stops. There's always something to learn and always something to do better. So Rohit leading from the front. And as an Indian fan, you got to be proud of him. And I know all people following Team India will be proud of Rohit leading from the front, because it's not always been plain sailing for him, as his form in the different formats has been up and down. But when it comes to the big moments, the big matches, he leads from the front. KL Rahul, you can't say this on camera, guys, but I was very nervous. I was scared out there. A very normal reaction. They don't always show it, guys. As professional sports people, you go out there and people think you are like a robot and you don't feel the nerves and you don't feel the heat of the moment. But KL Rahul coming out and saying, I was so scared at the back end there. All I wanted to do is make sure we cross the line and lift that trophy. And I can relate to that. I don't think I've ever played a cricket game where I didn't feel nervous. Even on Sunday, when the Champions Trophy final was happening, I was driving to Centurion Park. As I drove past the ground, I saw lots of cars there. I saw the ground filling up. And I wasn't expecting fans to come out, to be honest. It was a very casual, low profile, under the radar kind of game. And I got these butterflies driving in at Centurion Park, playing against former rugby players. I mean, there's nothing really to be nervous about except for the expectation you put on yourself. And that's probably what KL felt there at the end, feeling like, you know what, I've worked towards moments like these my entire life. And the great thing about feeling nervous and having these butterflies is it's generally a good sign. It sort of forces you to focus more. It keeps your eyes on that ball. It gets the intensity going. And I always felt like, you know what, it's very nerve-wracking driving to the Chinnaswamy before a big match for RCB or for the Proteas, wherever I went. But I always knew in the back of my mind it's a good sign, because I know that my senses will be flying high and I'm focused. That's basically what it comes down to. It means that it's important to me. And that's generally a good sign. When you feel the opposite and you feel almost too relaxed, I don't think that is a good sign. So KL coming out, and it's nice to hear sports people and professional sportsmen speak like that. And Jacques Callis was one would always say I was like a duck on water, all calm and collected at the top of the water, above the water, but at the bottom, those feet would be going crazy. And it's a very good description from him, what it felt like playing for your country and playing in big matches. Let's quickly cover the team of the tournament, guys. No surprise there to find a lot of Indian players in this team, but Rachin Ravindra tops the charts. Incredible, 263 runs, top scorer. Shreyas Iyer as well, close second there. Ben Duckett, Joe Root. Virat Kohli also featuring the great Virat. Didn't score many runs in that final, but big moments in the semi-finals and also leading up to the semi-finals. He played some fantastic cricket. No surprise to see a lot of Indian guys there, especially in the bowling department. Muhammad Shami, Chakravarti, Akshar Patel, all featuring there. They all had fantastic tournaments. KL Rahul, Shreyas Iyer, Virat Kohli in the batting department. It is nice to see Afghanistan Zadran there. He had a wonderful tournament. A little bit disappointing from my point of view not to see any South Africans there. But if you do think about it, maybe it is fair. They didn't have a wonderful tournament, a good one, I would say, steady. Making the semi-finals was a good achievement, but all in all, no real incredibly positive things to take out from it. Maybe in that top order, you could have added someone like a Ryan Rickleton or a Rassie van der Dussen, who I felt played some really good moments throughout this tournament. For South Africa, another semi-finals defeat and getting knocked out of the Champions Trophy. Temba Bavuma catching some criticism on X, and Vernon Philander coming up for him, saying that he should be backed. And I've got to agree with that, guys. I don't think it was a bad tournament from South Africa's point of view. Not coming in as favourites. I thought he captained fairly well. Maybe from his own batting and personal batting department, there is some work to be done to show a bit more impetus in those first 10 overs. I felt they were a little bit slow out of the blocks. Rickleton, Bavuma, we know Rickleton is quite aggressive, but Temba can maybe work on a few areas where he can pierce that inner ring more often as an opening bat. Other than that, I thought he captained fairly well. His technique still looks great as a batter. Going to the WTC finals later on this year, I feel he can feel confident going into that. But he needs backing, this guy. It's still a team that seems relatively inexperienced, still building towards what I feel will be a good ODI team coming up in the near future. So all in all, not too bad from the Proteas. I will take some positives from this tournament and feel confident moving forward as I keep building. That's it for 360 View. Let's move on to ABReacts. I love this. Defending champions Kolkata Knight Riders decided to go with Ajinkya Rahane for captain of 2025 IPL season. Venki, KKR CEO, came out and said they are delighted to have Rahane as captain. He will bring a lot of maturity and experience to the party. And I've got to agree with that. I think it's a good move. He's a fairly composed, calm character. And we know what he brings to the party as an opening bat. He can be destructive up front, but also bring some calmness and composure at the same time. Smart player who's performed very well and very consistently over the years. I've played against him quite often, and when he gets going, it is something to behold. He is a wonderful player who plays conventional cricket shots, but can be destructive at the same time. So exciting times for KKR as defending champions. We know they had a fantastic season last year, and they have a lot of match winners in that team. To have someone who's calm and composed and pretty consistent with decision-making and his batting can only boast well for them. Harry Brooks also pulls out of the IPL 2 years in a row. He's released a big article here trying to explain why, and that is for the Delhi Capitals, which will, I think they were actually batting heavy, so it will be good news for the likes of Faf du Plessis, who I thought was going to find it difficult to get a lot of game time in this coming IPL. Now his chances increased substantially with Harry Brook pulling out. But with regards to the regulations and the rules, will he maybe face a ban? I don't know. Second year in a row, guys. So is that explanation good enough? We'll wait and see what the BCCI comes up with. I'm pretty sure they will release a statement in the near future with regards to that. And then something bizarre happened over there at the State Bank of Pakistan team as they lost 4 wickets in 3 balls. But the way this happened was absolutely crazy. I haven't seen this happen before. So Saud Shakil got timed out, and that is the first Pakistan player to be dismissed via timed out. I can sort of relate to this, as I was also one guy who took some power naps before going out to bat. I know Jar Callis was someone to take a bit of rest also before going out to bat. It was a nice way for me to sort of deal with the butterflies and the nerves, but someone would always sort of tap me on the shoulder and say, not you are batting now, but you are next in. The wicket went down. Now, when the next wicket goes down, you are going out to bat. So I would get ready, make sure my pads are on. I mean, you can sort of look at this with a bit of humor in a way. I don't know if I want to make fun of it. It's not the case at all. But also don't want to give criticism. But from my perspective, I would always absolutely make sure if I want to go and lie down, make sure my pads are on at least, or my thigh pad. The basics, I'll have the clothes on, my shoes, things that'll take time to get ready, just in case something happens, or sometimes the next batter in would get sick and you would have to sort of bat one position higher. So you also got to take that into consideration. So yes, this game was pushed later, so the players were tired, and there's no blame on them. These things happen. It doesn't happen often, but all in all, crazy to see how this panned out. 4 wickets in just 3 balls. I can only imagine the chaos in that change room. I've been a part of teams in the past where there was a bit of scampering around the change room, as one player maybe needed the loo when the wicket fell down or went down, and to see the guys scatter around that change room was absolutely crazy in the past. But yes, South Shakil unfortunately getting dismissed in a timed out fashion, which doesn't happen every day. And also on ABReacts, I found my way out to the middle on Sunday, and I had a lot of fun. I've got to add, I didn't face the best bowling in the world, the best bowling attack in the world for that matter. I faced a couple of full tosses to start my innings off. That helped a lot to get a few sixes away. The boundaries at Centurion Park is not very big. And I mean, it was a very casual, social game. It was more a celebration of some of the former Bulls Rappy players, former Titans players coming together, and some fans enjoying seeing some of their role models of the past. But now that I've played it down enough, there were some good shots in between as well. What I enjoyed the most was the strike rate at the end, finishing up on 360. On the 360 show, it's incredible how that happened. It was obviously not planned. I got a red card when I got to my 100, as the umpire told me it's time to give some other batters a chance out there. And I said, well, I didn't waste a lot of time. I only faced 28 balls. Can I maybe get another 10? But no, he gave me the red card, and I ended up with a strike rate of 360, just for my fans on the 360 show. Guys, I had a lot of fun out there. I did do a bit of preparation leading up to this game, more so to make sure I don't get injured out there. As some of the Bulls players actually did get injured, getting side strains from the bowling. I did warn some of them, and I said, take it easy with the bowling. It is dangerous, and you really can get hurt. Unfortunately, some of them got injured, but they will be all right. It's nothing too serious. And for me, moving forward, I'll keep going to the nets, keep preparing for the WCL, which will take place in July and August later this year. I'm very much looking forward to that. And I know for a fact the bowling will be a lot more competitive and a lot more brutal out there, as I've heard some players have been working towards this tournament for quite some time now. Quick news about from AB to 360 before we move to the comms box. We will be updating you really soon, guys. I will be spending a bit of time in the nets over the next few months. We haven't really come up with the perfect model yet as when to release, how to release, and how often at least. But I will be in touch with you guys with regards to that. I still have a lot of things that I would like to share with you guys. That's it from the ABReacts section. Let's move on to the comms box. Okay, guys, it's time for the CommBox. Let's cover some of your comments and your questions. And thanks once again for posting your questions down below. It is always nice to interact. How would you play the bowler like Mitchell Santner? Thanks for that, Nadish Kumar. He's a very good bowler. He reminds me a lot of Dan Vettori, the former New Zealand bowler, who now finds himself at the coaching staff of the Australian team. But how would I play him? Santner is quite smart, guys. He really changes up his pace a lot. He gets a lot of action on the ball which is not a stock standard thing to see with left arm spinners, where they generally go a bit faster through the air and just try and play with their pace. I think of like a Akshar Patel, who's very fast through the air and relies a bit more on his bounce. Santner really goes slow through the air sometimes, gets a bit of drift and dip in. I would play him pretty similar to how I've played most left-arm spinners in my career. I always like to show my stump, stand on leg stump, and I always felt like their big go-to would be to get LBWs and bowls where a ball would not turn as much as you would think. And so for me, it was always to really back my eye and to rely on my skill in the willow to do the talk and not my pads. Always dangerous against that a left arm spinner with that angle coming in towards the stumps. One of them missed the seam and it skids on straight into your stumps, and you find yourself in trouble if your pad is in the way, right? So I would show my stumps, really go inside out through the covers, often try not to face too many dot balls so that the pressure won't build on me. And the other game plan I will always have is also to even go a little bit outside of leg stump, and then he's got a decision to make, because now if he goes to my stumps, it becomes width on the offside, and if he follows me, I'm outside leg, I can't get out bowl the LBW. It opens up the leg side for what I always call the free sweep. As long as I don't get a top edge, there's always runs down to the leg side. But that's in a nutshell and a very basic way of countering left arm spinners. Mitchell Santner had a fantastic tournament. I think he was the game changer in that semi-final against South Africa. Couldn't really get those fireworks going in the final. He still bowled well, but just a really good controlled bowler who understands his game inside out. Moving on, WTC final, South Africa versus Australia. I feel South Africa should play Rabada, Nortje, Jansen, Mulder as pace bowling, best chance for South Africa to win the ICC final. I still feel you need your spinner and Keshav Maharaj, even though you're playing at Lords, which generally doesn't take a lot of spin. It's more to control the game and the pace of the game. You always need your spinner. So I wouldn't have a full-out seam attack. But then the names you put up here, it'll be great if Nortje is fit, right, for a bit of outright pace alongside Rabada. Also Jansen, Mulder, all-rounder, yes. So maybe if you do play Mulder, there is still a spot open for Maharaj and you have a really good bowling attack. I'm looking forward to that encounter. The odds definitely favour Australia. I feel they are a well-oiled machine. I mean, man against man, I feel they probably outskill South Africa, but South Africa's record speaks for itself. They've had a fantastic couple of seasons leading into this final, and I still rate our chances. We got to start well there on day one. I think that'll be the focus. Get rid of the nerves, but also make sure they are not too conservative and tentative to start off with. Really be willing to throw the first punch. And sometimes that is what you need against a powerhouse Australian team. All right, next one, AB first match after retirement, and you go full beast mode. 28 ball century, strike rate 360. Thanks so much for that. I had a lot of fun out there. I saw a lot of action also on my broadcast channel on Instagram. Thanks for joining me on that, guys. A lot of tongue in the cheek stuff as we asked your favorite performance from yesterday's match. And I entertained that a little bit. We were referring to the ICC Champions Trophy, but there were lots of comments about me playing out there. Really, really enjoy your energy, everyone out there. But the focus was on the Champions Trophy. Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, KL Rahul. Those were the stand-up performers of the ICC Champions Trophy. And in that final, I think all the spotlight was probably on Rohit Sharma as captain. Another trophy in the cabinet for him and a fantastic record as captain. But I did have some fun out there. Also, let's not forget about Glenn Phillips and his amazing catches he took. Absolutely incredible. I mean, that one-hand catch of Mitchell Santner's bowling. Wow. I think it was Shubman Gill who hit that cover drive. And, I mean, he was airborne. He's just a wonderful fielder and reminds me a lot of Jonty Rhodes. I know Jonty is one of his role models as well. What a fantastic ICC Champions Trophy. I hope all of you enjoyed it out there. I certainly did. India deserved winners. There's no doubt about it. I honestly looked at that team sheet. I think it was about, 8 or 10 shows ago, maybe a couple of months back. And I told everyone out there, do not doubt this team. We can maybe pull that up, team, maybe show that past footage of me saying that, because there was a lot of criticism saying that it is spin heavy, this team looks unbalanced, and I said, no, no, no. I really feel this is a very well balanced, good squad. I know there's been a lot of comments, a lot of complaints, a lot of criticism. No Mohamed Siraj, a lot of spin bowling options. It looks a bit one dimensional, but I'll explain to you why I think this is a tournament winning squad. There's nothing wrong with this side, nothing wrong with the balance, and they stand a very good chance of winning this Champions Trophy, which they ended up doing. And a wonderful, wonderful cricket performance from the whole team. That is it from the 360 show, guys. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. I'm looking forward to take this from AB to 360 forward, and I will update you soon as to what the next step will be. Remember, the IPL is just around the corner, so strap up for that, as we will be covering all the games, all the news, all the ups and downs of the players and the teams of the IPL 2025 season. It's going to be a rock star tournament. Thanks for joining me on the 360 show. Until the weekend. I'll see you soon.